Hey guys, Dean Gravina here. Today's special guest, ex-head of SEO at King Kong, now bootstrapped and automated a Moringa business from the ground to six figures, now actually scaling towards seven. Welcome, Joel Malloy. How you
Yeah,
doing?
g'day, mate. Good, mate. Good. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on, man. I actually remember the first time we were actually having a chat at the King Kong office. It feels like a long time since
It would
since
have had to have been close to 5 years.
100%, man. And we are
Yeah.
we're having Spud Bar outside, and that was a good chat.
Oh, I was too. I remember Spud Bar on Chapel Street. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I actually remember working with you at King Kong and you would always obviously you were obviously full time in the role at the time and after
Yeah.
work you had the Moringa business. So
Yeah. I actually had the Moringa business through King Kong, but I only worked on the side. Um,
nice.
yeah. And then I was in charge of the SEO team until I think it was around the end of 2019.
Yeah,
Moved up to the Gold Coast and yeah, went back down.
100%. So why don't you run me through the story, man? Like how you even started in digital marketing and then
Yeah,
how you got,
I started
yeah.
well over 10 years ago. I was pretty young. I started an agency with with a mate of mine. It's still going to this day, actually, that one. Uh, I left, but obviously, to start in different agencies to get some experience. I was up on the Gold Coast. I started an agency up here.
Uh-huh.
Left that after about a year. Sold out and went away to get some more experience. I started at a another agency on the Gold Coast. It was called Hybrid at the time.
Yep.
Uh, 40,000 a year was that's all they paid me.
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah, it was hard one. Oh, and actually, they didn't end up paying you. They he ended up bankrupting the company and phoenixing it.
Yeah, right, right.
And that's when I left and decided to go to Melbourne and try my luck. And yeah, I worked for some amazing agencies down there.
Uh-huh.
E-Market Experts was the first one, which was a lot of fun. And then King Kong after that, yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
where I just worked my way up in King Kong and got the head role. And
Yeah.
yeah,
How did
awesome.
you like, well, let's find it back. How did you like why did you even like how did this whole SEO thing because obviously you're one of the best SEOs in Australia, right? So and
Not
and
these
and I'll explain why I say that, but how did it even like start? Like where did this SEO thing even start with you?
It started when I was in university. Actually, I was studying games development, and I kind of had a bit of a knack for a bit of programming, web design, and that. So I started building a website design. And then they wanted an SEO client, so I actually started looking into what the hell that was.
Yeah, right.
And then I just started learning. I was learning from the likes of like Rand Fishkin and that, from Moz and just a few others back in the day, Backlinko and stuff like that. And I just started to implement it all into my work. And yeah,
Okay.
then as I started getting employed, I started to learn more skills and yeah, I just kept learning from the people I was around.
So you just so like typical, web design, they needed SEO. You were the guy
Yeah.
you had to figure it out.
Yeah. I remember doing like 4 or 5 a.m. Runs at night, just trying to understand what I was doing, trying to work it all out.
Yeah.
It's quite funny to look back on it now, like, it's that whole fake it till you make it situation.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, good experience though.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, and I say you're one of the best SEOs in Australia, and not just because you've done all these things and worked at King Kong, and I say it because I look at it this way: you can either teach SEO, you can work SEO at marketing agencies, or you can actually start your own business that relies on SEO. And
Yeah.
that's why I say you're one of the best SEOs in Australia because the people who can actually take the channel and build a business around the channel, I personally think are obviously the best, right? So where did
Yeah.
that come about? Like, run me through this Moringa business and how that came about.
Well, thanks for the compliment, man. That's really nice. It's the Moringa stuff came about. Look, I wanted to learn a new skill, which was Google AdWords. So I tried to monetize it a bit through drop shipping of all things. And I had a supplier up in North Queensland, had a farm and all that. So I worked with him for about 3 years, just selling his Moringa products as I learned Google AdWords, and it went quite well. In the meantime, obviously SEO was building. He ended up firing me for ridiculous reasons as a seller, and I already had another supplier at that stage, so my margins went from about 30% to 70 overnight. Because I no longer drop shipping, I now had my own brand.
Yeah.
and the AdWords just kept going, and the SEO was just following suit.
So it was the AdWords, a search, was it search campaign?
Yeah, they were the original text ads, so you can't really make them these days.
Oh wow.
But yeah, they were going really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, but still to this day, that the campaigns run good. I had in January, I've had around a 700% ROI with the Pico for 2 weeks about 950%.
Crazy, dude.
So it's still running good. The
Yeah.
ads and the SEO is obviously yeah still ticking along.
Yeah. And how long did it like I mean this is a like a question a lot of people ask, right? Like in their business journey, like and there's a lot of people who are obviously trying to make the move in which that you made
Yeah,
from going from, you know, a full-time job to working on this, right? How long did it take for obviously you had the Google ads working whilst you were working full time?
yeah.
Um, like how long did it sort of take until you sort of knew this was firing? Like was it up until the SEO kicked in? Like what was that point?
No, about 4 years into it. Probably about a year or so after I lost my contact in North Queensland.
Okay.
Because I was doing good, but I was only probably selling around $4,000 a month at that stage.
Yeah, wow.
So it wasn't really enough to live off or anything. And because it was drop shipping, there was no margins
Sure.
at all. But it was a great education, which is what I think drop shipping is so powerful for, is just learning about items and that. It started to grow a lot when I was head of SEO at King Kong.
Okay.
Um, and then once I got that job offer up here on the Gold Coast, I took it, but then COVID kind of kicked in, and that I
Yeah.
lost that job within about 3 months of getting it.
Uh-huh.
Um, which it's not their fault. It's just what the landscape was back then.
Yeah.
That's why I come back down to King Kong just for those extra few months again, just to
Yeah.
as a bit of a backup. But then I thought it's time to go, time to take that lunge. For me, it was really scary because I've already failed in business quite a few times.
Okay.
This isn't my first rodeo.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, so like one of my favorite sayings, or is my favorite, is fail fast.
Fell
You
fast.
just got to learn from your mistakes. I mean, at 17, I owned a bar in New Zealand. I would have
Yeah.
been one of New Zealand's youngest publicans at that stage. That was a big failure. Lost a lot of money. I had a cafe on the Gold Coast at 26, I think it was. That
Mhm.
lost even more money. The digital agency that I started, like, it's still running to this day. It's a success now, but when I was there, was I counted it still as a failure. But I didn't know what I was doing either.
Yeah, right.
I've had a couple of e-commerce sites that just didn't go anywhere,
Yeah.
like shoelaces, for example.
Yeah, right.
Uh, it's with all that experience, with all those yeah failures, that I just worked on what was wrong, and this time I got it right.
Yeah. And do you think, like, obviously, yeah, dude, because, like, I remember you sort of saying you had a few things going, but and you failed in the past, but I didn't realize
Yeah,
extent even with shoelaces.
yeah. There's little things like that, just to test stuff out and that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I remember I was in Altona in
Mhm.
Melbourne that way. There
Yeah.
was three of us working on our own websites of the day, and mine was the Moringa one, and I
Yeah.
was the only one that carried on, just kept pushing through. The others stopped, and I
Wow.
just yeah.
And like, dude, why did you keep pushing on? Like, because the interesting thing is most people watching this would get to that point, dude, and be like, nah, this business thing isn't for me. You know,
Yeah,
I'll give up
it's
and
hard.
yeah,
Well, I just enjoy it. Like as it is now, I love just working for myself. I mean, the last 3 years, I don't even have to put 10 hours a week into this business. It's just automated. It runs itself.
yeah,
It's a beautiful thing. So to get to that level, that's yeah. I mean, that's my reward for that.
yeah.
Um, but like again, it's the fear of failure. So I think that a lot of people are scared to take that leap as well.
Yeah, I mean, you failed like quite a lot of times, right? So like,
Yeah, I was scared. I should have taken that leap earlier, but I never did.
yeah, I mean, like obviously, like, because that was a big factor, right? To leave that sort of a job like that you had, right?
Yeah.
To move into it full time, that transition period. Like, what was sort of going through your mind at that current point in time?
Failure again. I don't want to go through it again. Like I
Yeah,
mean at 27 and that I was so broke that I remember having 4 packs of 2 minute noodles to get me through 2 days.
yeah,
Um yeah, it was a horrible feeling. I never wanted that again.
yeah.
And of course all the other failures stacked on top of that. It does play with your head a bit, but that's where you just got to fail fast, learn from your mistakes and just keep going.
Keep going, 100%,
And
100%.
there's no point. Like if you've got employment on the side as well, I mean there's no reason you can't be working on your own stuff.
exactly. My only thing is to that point, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I stayed in employment for like quite a long time, and I always tried to juggle the businesses and try to make it work like with employment.
Yep.
It was only up until last year that I quit completely, and the business tripled. And
Yeah.
and that goal that I'd set out when I'd quit, I
Yep.
achieved it in 3 weeks, and I couldn't believe it. So, dude, like
It's amazing when you put your time and effort into what you want to do, isn't it?
that's right. And my question to you is, dude, but see, you wouldn't be obviously thinking about that because you had failed quite a few times.
That
Like,
wasn't my.
yeah. So was it in your mind, like, that you didn't want to quit, like quit the job to,
Yeah, absolutely was.
was there a certain number,
True.
was there a certain point like that you said to, because a lot of entrepreneurs starting their business, like, what's your advice to somebody, like, when is it okay to quit your job?
I want to say when you're comfortable, but as you've said, and it happened to me too. Once I quit, my sales doubled. Everything. As soon as I put my focus into my own business,
Yeah.
everything just worked. It just increased. Like a monetary figure, I think I was probably earning around maybe 10, 15 grand, or selling, I should say, not earning, selling
Yeah.
around 10, 15 grand a month at that stage,
Yeah.
which is, quadrupled since then. So
For sure.
it's, yeah, but that wouldn't have happened if I didn't quit and just start working on it myself.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And like, because I know you're really, really big on SEO, so I just want to talk about how you took those learnings from SEO, from an SEO perspective, and then we'll get into like meta ads and where you see that
Yeah,
makes sense,
yeah,
like this. But I want to really talk about like how SEO really got the business, because here's my point with this: a lot of people start on Facebook,
yeah.
So
I've been,
is it
yeah.
true that you started the other way because you didn't really have that much? Yeah. So run us through that.
Yeah, I've been pointing that. A coach of mine's actually pointed that out to me recently. That yeah, most people build the business or e-commerce, especially on social media to start with, and I haven't touched it. It's only this year I've just started to work it out now. I've really disliked social media for a long time. I find it quite a toxic environment, but yeah, there's a lot of money to be made there. But the SEO side of it is the competition wasn't huge. Um, Moringa was relatively new at the time in Australia. I saw the opportunity there. You know what it's like as soon as you see an opportunity like that, the keywords you get, the articles you can write,
Yeah.
it's yeah, obviously the links and the authority, everything like that, it all just worked together. And because it wasn't super competitive, I got to the top of the search results pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Um,
changed a lot though since then.
yeah, that's for sure. But like like how did you have the confidence to obviously you would have got inspiration from somewhere. Was it a project that you worked on that you saw something that, hey, like this e-commerce SEO? Because like
Yeah, it is.
nobody really talks about e-commerce SEO. It's e-commerce Facebook ads, e-commerce Google ads. Like
Caruso's Natural Health was a huge inspiration to me. I worked on their site for quite a long time at King Kong, and I just loved it. I loved what they did. I loved everything they did.
yeah,
And then I found a supplement that they obviously didn't sell, and not many in Australia did. So I just sort of have a go at it and try to learn AdWords at the time.
yeah, wow. So you just sort of said, hey, like it makes sense. Um, yeah, cool. That I mean that makes a lot of sense. Like, what do you think the difficulties are with that though? For somebody just starting out now, like what would be your advice, like in terms of the SEO thing? Because there's still a lot of
Patience.
brands out there like that say like no, we don't even want to go there. We just
Yeah.
want to run our Google ads, our PMAX campaigns, and our Facebook ad campaigns. Like,
If, if you're running Google ads and you're not doing SEO, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Absolutely shooting yourself. I listened to your interview with Harry from
yeah,
Studio Hawk, and like he's a gun. He's an absolute wizard. One of the best, I think. So like he nails it. Everything he's saying on that podcast is very accurate, very good.
yeah,
But he's spot on when he talks about if you're running Google ads and not SEO, you're hamstringing yourself because they
exactly,
complement each other. They really do. So if
100%.
you've got two channels working, I mean, yeah, one fails, you've still got a full, you got a backup.
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting to build your own safety net, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly, right. And obviously everyone's looking at getting a better ROAS and getting a better, cost per acquisition. But the issue is with that is like if you're just relying on one channel,
Mhm.
That's really never going to like be the case, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, if you're just relying on Google Ads, your cost per click is going to go up. Your CPA obviously going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
Competition is going to come through and absolutely style for you. So you should be, and if you're optimizing as well for the same pages as AdWords,
Yeah.
they really cross over.
Yeah.
You're
What's
going to find yourself a lower cost per click and everything.
Yeah, and what's been like this the e-commerce strategy? So for people like, wanting to start their own business, right? Like
Mhm.
what is the e-commerce strategy? Like it's a little bit it's obviously quite different to lead generation.
Yeah.
What's been the strategy that's worked well that you're willing to sort of share? Because I know obviously there's
Well,
this element.
there's no real magic pill here at all. To me,
Yeah.
it was a bit of patience and it was learning. That's what got me here. I was just trying to learn.
Yeah.
And that was really, really all it is. It's a lot of time. I mean, I didn't make any money for the first like 3 or 4 years at all.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep persevering through it. You gotta have that patience. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know what a brand new site's like. You're not going to rank it straight away, especially in the e-commerce space.
Yeah.
Um, but then it's just your basics, like your content, your backlinks, your on page, your technical work. It's just that.
And are you looking like with especially with e-com, like in your sort of a space, are you looking to sort of go for the more difficult keywords? Are you looking to build out? Like what's the general like idea?
Originally I was, but these days not so much. These days I'm more interested in answering questions and
Okay.
yeah, more what's the word though? So was it AEO, artificial
Yeah, the actual
um
overviews. Was that what you
yeah. All the questions and that they get you see on Google these days. Because when you put your brand name in, your number one position is probably about 6 or 7 spots down the line now.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you've got the AI overview, you've got the maps, you've got the questions related, then you've got the 4 Google ads,
Yeah.
which are now completely hard to tell apart from organic because they removed that sponsored by. Um, yeah,
Yeah, awesome, man. And yeah, okay. Like so a lot in the blog space as well. Is that what you're referring to? Sort of really,
blogs, more so just content in general. Like I don't really write blogs. I do like power pages, is what I'd probably call them. Just really informative content, especially if you're referencing like government sites and um, government departments and that. Like I did one recently called "Is Moringa Legal in Australia?" and that's gaining some great traction. That's now on top of that Google questions. You know, if it comes up, if is Moringa legal in Australia, my page comes up now. You see all the insights. It's growing quite considerably month to month.
yeah, so from an SEO perspective, not just ranking for that key term, that product, but also like questions, is it legal? Is it this, that?
I
That's
barely look at keywords these days. I
okay.
don't really see. I just categorize stuff. I prefer to keep everything in the category.
Yeah, gotcha. Awesome, man.
Individual keywords don't really mean as much as they did 10 years ago.
100%. And you're moving now into Meta, right? We had
Yeah.
a few offline conversations about okay, like, and I know you're speaking about you're chatting you're getting some coaching and
Hmm.
like talk to us about that. Like, what was the point that you saw like, hey, like this social media thing is blowing up, especially because I know you personally, like you're not a social guy. So like,
No.
how difficult is it for you to get started with this social thing?
Yeah, this is way out of my comfort zone. Completely. It's Yeah, it really is. So I signed up with the Entourage for some coaching and that, especially around the social stuff because I got no idea what I'm doing with it. Like I said, I've never learned it, never bothered. Interacting with people and there is toxic. But yeah, they've spoken to me about it. Get it going. Got to try to personalize a brand. That'll be one of the next steps, and that really puts me out of my comfort zone. I don't like to put a face to the product as much. Even at King Kong, I used to stand behind the scenes all the time. Even if we went to like DMA events and all that, I never would say who I was or where I was from. I just yeah, the what's the saying? Children should be seen and not heard. But I prefer to not be seen or really heard.
Yeah, you are that sort
It's
of
a
a
bit of
guy.
that problem. That's all it is.
It's very interesting, man, because you've built a very successful business and it's in the e-com space, and you really, yeah, like I feel like that's going to be a journey. And what's been like in terms? So are you running paid ads now?
Yeah, I'm only doing Facebook like boosting though. I'm not really going through the ad center as much.
Yeah, wow.
I'm just making posts. If they're getting engagement, then I'm pushing them for ads and
Yeah.
whatnot. And that's kind of working quite well. On average, it's generating close to $500 a day in sales extra. and that's from organic social and just a few boosted posts.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like, um, I guess the theme of this is really you don't need meta ads to run an e-commerce business, right? Because like even
Definitely
you're
don't, no.
saying now, dude, like you're just boosting posts, right?
Yeah,
So
I haven't run any Google ad. I'm sorry, I haven't run any Meta ads or anything.
yeah,
Really over the course of it. I dabbled once or twice, but I just turned it all off because, yeah,
100%. Basically, dude, what you're saying is like if you have a product that people, because here's the interesting thing, right, about drop shipping, like you said. um I know you're not drop shipping now, but people say don't go into a saturated market because obviously your cost per acquisition. But what you're doing is, I don't know how saturated it is, but you're going into a market that there's demand for, and you're running search ads for people looking for it. You're highly profitable. It's the
yeah,
complete. I feel like what you're doing is the complete opposite to what the gurus are telling you to do.
it probably is. I guess I'm quite unconventional though in that way. I don't really listen to many businessmen or people. I just kind of beat to my own drum.
Yeah,
I read data. I love data. It's
yeah,
one of my favorite things. So, I just try to make decisions based on what I'm reading.
yeah. And what's been the hardest challenge, man, like to scale this business? Because I know, as you said, I think you said you went from like 10K, or like 15K per month. Now you've sort of like four times that.
Mhm.
What has been the most difficult thing in scaling it? Because I know you sort of had that, obviously you're not, working full time. That's an aspect. But besides that,
Yeah.
what's been difficult in the e-commerce space, especially you're not running paid ads? Like, how do you even measure, what's your going to be, your cost per acquisition? Like if you're just running Google ads and SEO, because I know SEO is a bit different that way.
Yeah, well, there is a ceiling with Google Ads, I'm finding, especially in my industry. So I can really increase the budget, but the cost per click gets a lot lower. I seem to be only be targeting the people that have done their research and really want it. So I guess that's kind of like probably for yeah, like 2 or 3 years after COVID, it was pretty stagnant, the same kind of income for that whole time. So I really felt like I hit a ceiling there,
Yeah.
which is also one of the reasons I need to go to the socials. But the other one I'm trying to do is I kind of trying to get into the American market at the moment,
Okay.
but that's pretty hard to do when you don't have social proof.
Yeah.
Um, Here I am. I can brag about my numbers and sales numbers, but when you go to the Facebook and the Instagram and it's got 200 page likes or 400 page likes, you don't really look that credible.
For sure.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
mean,
that's hard to hit a new market.
yeah,
So I feel like that's my issue with growth is I hit a ceiling with Google Ads.
yeah.
But now I need to look at expanding.
Well, yeah. I mean, this has been the evolution of your product, right? You've started with SEO, and Google Ads. Now you've hit that point of, like you said, sort of diminishing returns with the Google Ads. You're
Yeah.
starting Facebook ads. You're trying to enter international markets. Like, um, what's the like? Do you have a goal like with where you're trying to sort of grow this, and like how you even going to get there?
Yeah, I do. I've got like an exit strategy and all that as well. The idea is to get it to a seven-figure turnover, which I'm not too far away from
Yeah,
a year. After that, the in about a year or so from now, Moringa is also going to be lifted from a novel food to more of a standard food. Now that gives way to a lot of the big competitors to come through,
yeah,
which they're already making a mark, but they're not selling it in shop,
uh-huh,
only online,
yeah.
much like myself. But that opens some big doorways. So I'm not sure if I'm going to look at selling right there or if I'll just continue on. I'm really looking at pushing the Australian agriculture sector as well for Moringa. I really want to see more farms grow,
Yeah.
especially up here in Queensland.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to get Australian grown Moringa. There's only a couple of suppliers that I know of in the whole of Australia.
But what for people that don't know, and we can make this a highlight at the start of the video. What is moringa for people that don't know?
Yeah. It's just a leaf to be honest from the moringa tree. It's got all the nutrients that the human body needs. So I guess the way I put it is it's just like a natural multivitamin.
Yeah.
It's used for famine in like African countries. The Filipinos, they love it. They use it in all their soups and cooking. It's quite crazy. Yeah, it's just full of what the human body needs. The miracle tree is the other name that they use for it.
Miracle tree.
Yeah. So along that equator line, that Southeast Asia or Africa and all that, it's very, very popular.
Mm.
but just not in Australia. And because of it's such a doesn't not many people know about it. Therefore, it's still classified as a novel food.
Yeah.
So it falls under a whole different category of fish, really.
Yeah, 100%. No, like I mean, that's just a very like unique and interesting product, man. Like I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of those ones that like I find it interesting that you know you sort of started this because it's not like every day that you just wake up, you work for a you know, and you have a massive background in marketing that you're going to start a Moringa
yeah,
business, right?
yeah,
Um, like, do you think that's been an issue, like with actually running you know, running the ads and doing the SEO, like the educational aspect of this product, like an
yeah. It
education
has. I've
place?
absolutely had to learn a lot about this product, especially as it started to gain traction.
Yeah.
As I said at the start, I just wanted to learn Google Ads. That was the main reason for it. Then I got quite into the product itself, and yeah, to market it, I've really got to know it.
Well, what I'm also saying is the people that because you've got to market to the masses, right? And what you've said is it's not quite popular here yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So
So I've only
have you
really
thought
been
about
marketing to the ones that know about it.
yeah,
There's still massive opportunities in Australia for this product. It hasn't even really lifted off the ground yet,
yeah.
so to speak, compared to other countries. It's yes, there's a very small percentage of Australians that know what it is, and most of them would be from international because they use it. India, Philippines again, all those countries, they know it very well.
Man, the just last couple of questions. What's been like, I guess, for you to get to this point? Surely there's been some advice given to you that has sort of stuck with you along the way. Is there anything that someone's passed on to you? Because I know you've gone through like and I don't ask everybody that question, but you've gone through
Yeah,
like a journey. Has there been something that sort of stuck with you, like a piece of advice given to you from any mentors or to get you to this point?
yeah. As I brushed, I guess before that fail fast. That was one of my absolute favorite sayings. That came from Janine from Boost Juice. I forgot her last name.
Yeah.
I got to see her live many years ago. Cause yeah, I saw her live many years ago, and that really resonated with me.
Okay.
So to do that's definitely my number one piece of advice. Just fail fast and move on. Even I struggle with it, but if you
Yeah.
can get through it, you're going to be good. Don't back down to a fight either. Never back down.
Yeah.
Um, I've been threatened with lawsuits. I've had Australian Consumer Affair reports, the whole lot. I,
Yeah.
the the guy from North Queensland wrote to King Kong actually to try to get me fired.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, like it's been a full on assault really from them,
Yeah.
but I don't back down to anyone, and I just fight back every time.
You're going to be challenged throughout your business journey, whether it's like you
Yeah,
said, you know, like whatever
um,
way. Never say
competition's healthy
die.
too.
Never say die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, never ever. Competition as well is very healthy. But I get along with a lot of my competitors. I mean, I sell one of my competitors' brands on my website.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I don't see why you have to take over everything and
Yeah.
try to put other businesses down.
I had one friend, and I don't know why he said this to me, but he said, I never refer anyone. And I feel like the most successful people that I've spoken to in business, they're referring other businesses. You know what I mean? And I think that's a really, as you said, watching that gym podcast, basically if his franchise can't do the job, he'll refer other people to
Yeah,
do
to do it.
much like what you're doing. People, it'll always come back to you as well.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It's a
yeah,
bring away. Like you said, there's a healthy level of competition, but you don't have to be at each other's throats. Like work with these people is better.
yeah,
It's like when you play sport. I mean, if you play against someone better than you, you're going to get to their level eventually. Just keep going.
100%. And so is it one product that you've got, or is it multiple products? And if it is multiple,
Multiple.
how did you go from like the initial idea to going across different products?
Just started off with the capsules and powders mainly. Then we went to the oils, which was a big hit. Soaps, the teas have really taken off. There's so many things that moringa can be used for. But then I moved into like turmeric and black pepper as well,
Yeah,
and that's a hyper competitive market. But I sell a lot of that too.
100%.
Um, ashwagandha, there's quite a number of yeah items I move out into. And I'm always looking for new ways to bring moringa to new products really. There's
Yeah.
like yeah, like fertilizers. That's what I'm experimenting with at the moment. A few others, yeah.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, man, the value of this that I would like to share was in maybe like a 3 minute format. If you were to start all over again with what you know now, like everything that you know now, like what would you do starting over?
I would have started the same way, through drop shipping. I know it's not profitable. I know it's got a dirty word, but if you use it for educational purposes to test markets, it's very valuable. Just from that aspect alone, I would have left my job probably a lot earlier, and just taken the leap. And I definitely would have started social media a lot earlier. I'm still kicking myself over that one at the moment.
Yeah, 100%, man. And just to wrap up, dude, like you know, what would you say to the sort of people that they've I think the whole thing is the journey, right? Like people are following the trends and you've really gone against the grain. You've
Yeah,
done something completely opposite. Like where do you feel like what could be next, right? Like everybody's sort of, looking for the next thing now, reels and video product, video advertisements on TikTok. And what do you think is the
Mhm.
next thing? And like, yeah, like basically what would you say is like sort of the next thing?
Well, I think AI is going to be a major role in search. I don't really know where it falls into place yet, because obviously, like ChatGPT and that are not search engines. I don't know where it's all going with that. I think that traditional search is on its way out,
Yep.
as we know it,
Uh-huh.
to be replaced. But it was always going to be search. Don't get me wrong. It's just a different way of approaching the problem. I mean, it evolves. It's always evolved in the last 10 plus years that I've been working in the industry. Um, yeah.
Yeah. No, awesome, man. Well, dude, where can people find out about like what you do, man? You do obviously you do marketing and you're also selling the Moringa. Like where can people find out?
I only do marketing for a handful of clients, at the moment. It's not something I'm really interested in growing super huge.
Invite
Much.
only.
Hey,
It's an
if
invite.
I yeah, it's only X amount I'll take on. That's more so because I just really enjoy my lifestyle, man. Like the Moringa stuff all being automated and that it makes for a great lifestyle. Like I travel different countries for a couple of months of the year now.
Wow.
Just it's just good. I don't think you need to go and become like an absolute multi-millionaire. You can just, if you've got a comfortable enough business that you're happy with, like, what else? What more is there?
Boozy.
I don't have to work for anyone. I don't have to answer to anyone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can take my
Yeah,
laptop and work from anywhere in the world. And if I work more than 10 hours when I'm on holiday, then yeah, I'm annoyed at myself.
100%. And where are we buying the Moringa? What's the
Oh,
website?
sorry. Just online at moringaproducts.com.au.
Yeah,
Guess I
awesome.
got to put it in there.
Check that out. Have a look at the SEO strategy on that. If you want a good SEO strategy, just go to that website, check it out. Guys, thank you so much. As I sort of said, Joel has been, someone that I've sort of, been watching over the years, and the story from going, that's obviously I take you as inspiration because you did what I always wanted to achieve, right? Obviously, go from a full-time job, have a business that's sustaining you, and I think the whole thing is what people are getting out of this podcast is there's not really, as they say, like one way to skin a cat, right? Like there's different ways you can be successful.
Yeah,
Some
there is. Yeah.
people will tell you to run Facebook ads. Joel's basically didn't do any of that, and he's still not really doing that. So really, like, find your product, do your research, jump on different podcasts, watch and listen to different podcasts, and figure out what's going to work for you, because just because one person says something, it doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean it's going to work for you.
You don't have to go the conventional route. Never do. Just go with what feels right
Awesome, man. Thank you
and
so
learn
much.
as much as you can. Thanks, man. Really good talking to you again, dude.
Awesome, man.